everybody, it's making an impact, but we're down a host, a co-host. No Zachary. I looked for him. Couldn't find him. I just saw a note. It said, "Fuck you, I quit." I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm just kidding. He didn't quit. No, he's not on tonight. He has the familials. And truthfully, there's a part of me that's like, we didn't need to do a show tonight. It's all right. But then I remember that Impact was doing this fucking cockamamie Impact Provincial. What is even that word? Wrestling Federation, the IPWF. A one-off throwback to the 80s of yesteryear. And I realized that we needed to cover this. And because we were going to cover it, I was just like, hey, Marcus, do you want to do the show? And he's like, all right. So then here we are. I'm your host tonight, as always, Chad Bordeaux. And I'm hiding underneath my blanket because it's the day before Thanksgiving, so that means everyone is fucking crazy. And I had to go to the store like 2 hours ago, and I'm scared. Marcus, I'm so goddamn scared. And, of course, joining me...
And it's not even Friday.
Oh, God, dude. I'm not even leaving the house Friday. Like, I might, but I don't want to.
You're like, you think an old lady took a nail tonight.
Right? Like, fuck. No, thank you. So, yeah, joining me tonight is not as always. Just for tonight, Marcus Green. Marcus, how are you?
It's happening. It's funny. I almost wish we would have came up with something for me to just be trying to talk like Zach, and then some of the fans be like, "Did they race Ben Zach?"
Race Ben. I don't know if you can go because he's kind of got like a deep nasally kind of draw. Like he sounds like he's perpetually kind of coming down off of antihistamines. And that's not an insult. That's not an insult because I sound like I'm perpetually speaking out of my ass. So, here we are. But yes, we do have our race bent Zach. So it's a one. It's fitting. It's a one night only for the IPWF. It's a one night only for Marcus on Making an Impact. But here we are. And of course, as always, all the shows brought to you by RealNerdCorp.com. Marcus can be found on Twitter, ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's me.
You can also find him on his occasional podcast, the True Penny Podcast, on True Penny Show at True Penny Podcast on Twitter. TruePennyShow. I think I said that right. I think. So you can also find me on Twitter at ChadNerdCorp, ChadNerdCorp, as well as on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. We announced our WCW last night. It is, in fact, Melina. And I found the most patriotic photo of Melina I could find. And truthfully, Marcus, I had to veto a lot of other photos that I was going to go with Melina because I realized she liked getting the camera all up in her business. And while as a fan I appreciate that, I also couldn't justify it. I was giving her I was able to basically be her gyno, and I was not down with that. I mean I could be. She was into it.
Damn it! From now on, I look for the photo.
And of course, our wrestler of the week is Keith Lee. So, Marcus, let's talk about the Impact Provincial Wrestling Federation. I don't really know why it was provincial. I know it's supposed to be based in Canada because all the good guys are themed in Canada. So I thought that was pretty cool. Marcus, we got the red, white, and blue ropes, though. So that's a thing. I actually really love the old school red, white, and blue ropes. It kind of gives it a nice little throwback styling to the old WWF days. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just your initial impressions. It's shot very much like a studio show. Thoughts, feelings, ideas of the layout and such.
First off, I went to the site and I saw this very patriotic picture of Melina, and she might actually give me the stand for the anthem. Now, back to this show. Yeah, I dug it. It's funny. I think you kind of put it perfectly at the top of the, when we started. It's funny that this felt like the episode of NWA Powerrr that we was probably expecting. Hell, may have gotten had things not worked out the way they did. But yeah, I dug the old timey vibe. Like every aspect of the show From how they talked, from the look of it, the ring, the ropes. Because we opened up the thing and got this guy. I'm gonna get off into it, but the ring started off with a stain in it, and nothing, no action had happened. So just I dug the commitment by everybody to stay on task, because it would have been very easy, just because a lot of the stuff that they do is just so repetitive. It'd be very easy for them to slip back into some of the old stuff. But I think because obviously as we get into the show, we'll talk more about it. Clearly, everybody that was involved in this was loving this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this wasn't something they were forced to do, or people be like, "Hey, anybody want to get overtime? Yuck, yuck, yuck! You want to come over here and do this?" No, like everybody that did this was enjoying it. And when the guy who's the champion of the brand takes a not a like a sidekick role, but the role he took, which we're going to get off into, it just speaks to the camaraderie of that roster. So
Mm-hmm. So everyone's kind of got a 80s stylized version of their gimmick to an extent. We open up with Josh Matthews. He's Giuseppe Jr., which is supposed to be a take on Vince McMahon, and they do that bit throughout the entirety of the night. Then we have Don Callis, who's going by Colin Sexton. Nope, that's the Cleveland Cavalier player. Sexton Hardcastle, there it is. And Sexton is the old gimmick from one WWE Hall of Famer, Adam Copeland, Edge. So I thought that was a nice little kind of wink, wink, nod, nod to his good friend. So we open up. It's the gutter punk grappler Rip Razor, a.k.a. Ace Austin, taking on the Pizza Boy pugilist Rapid Delivery Pete, Rich Swann. So let's just be honest here. These are pretty much their gimmicks if they're in the 80s. I dug it. I dug it.
I could very much see Rich Swann being a dancing pizza delivery guy.
Right?
And it's funny when freaking Ace came out. I was like, no, his name is Razor. Say Razor.
They're babies.
He's a wife stealing baby. But yeah, I dug this. This was perfect for him, perfect for Swann, and the match was perfectly old school. A lot of holes, a lot of chin locks, a lot of resting spots, and Swann. It was comical how much he was trying to not be athletic.
Right.
Oh, it was good.
One of the things that I thought would have been great is if we had gotten an actual promo with Pizza Boy, pizza delivery, rapid delivery Pete. There it is. I got the perfect slogan. In 30 minutes or less, you're gonna have a toppings full of pain. It's dumb and hokey like the 80s. Only this show has less AIDS, so that's a bonus.
Which it's funny because I thought you was going somewhere R-rated with that. With his wife, like 30 minutes or less, you're gonna have your meat.
My meat is done in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed every time. Someone just shouts out, "That's not always a good thing." So Pete's rapid delivery Pete. He wins with a special delivery splash, so that's a thing. They really didn't put a lot of time into these matches, which I actually kind of liked. I think that should be a staple for things beyond just tonight, but whatever. So then we go backstage. We get Julian Cumberbund, played by Ethan Page, and Sonny Sanders, played by a young Jim Cornette. Sorry, Sammy Callahan. So the funny thing is Cornette doesn't like Callahan, so this was just perfect. They talk about the International Commonwealth Television title. It's a loser leaves town match later tonight with Downtown something Brown. Charlie Brown. That'll work. So they do their typical villainous promos and yeah. How did you feel about Julian Cumberbund and Sonny Sanders?
Other than, well, it really made me feel awkward, but I did dig one other segment. Really, it was one of my favorite parts of the show, just because it was so off-putting that I had to dig it. This was probably my favorite part, favorite segment. This because this was perfect for these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see Ethan Page like just dropping what we get with him on Impact and just doing this. And Callahan too. Like I feel like they could do this full time and
Yeah.
fit right into the and keep it going. And Callahan, we know what he's meant to the roster since he's gotten there, and obviously what he means now, spearhead and everything, um, as the guy. But this was perfect for him. Like the whole exchange when uh, Mr. Brown showed up, and he was like, "Hold up, wait a minute, I'm gonna go, and you can take your photo."
Very Dusty Rhodes, which not
Oh
that
yeah.
surprising because I've been saying that about the guy for years now. But they really did a great job, capturing that, blue collar everyman worker. I think they said that his character's father was like an electrician to really keep in line with that, that hard working kind of motif.
Yeah, yeah, and they use a thing that sound like something me and you will say. After this, we're going out and getting cheeseburgers with extra pickles.
That doesn't sound too bad. I mean, hold the pickles, but I'm down. Speaking of things I'm shockingly down for, we get a Fabulous Ones tribute video featuring the hard workers, Hall and Oates, which are Cousin Jake and Cody Deaner, respectively. I love the wordplay. They're referred to as Oates and Hall to avoid copyright confusion, but it's Hall and Oates, so I appreciate that. Then we get, I think, Marcus, this is going to be one of your favorite moments of the night. Excessive Force with Pummel and Plunder. And now I have the Captain Planet song stuck in my head. They're coming out talking about how they're going to face the hard workers tonight, and they're super, super talented, and Pummel is D'Lo Brown. You heard that right. And Plunder is Falaba. So this is just going to be all kinds of nonsense. Shockingly enough, the hard workers win in an upset with a double sunset flip. Again, short match, that's fine.
And maybe this is an old school thing, and I'm gonna kind of lean on you for this. But the only thing that the finish kind of irked me a little bit because he was so damn close to the rope. It looked like if he extended his index finger, he would have got a rope break.
How old do you think I am?
No, just because this is a thing like, because now we see like that's a clever thing now. Oh, he got a foot on the rope. Or we've seen, I forgot who did it, whether it was in WWE or somewhere else. Somebody literally just put their finger tip on the rope to get a rope break.
That's clever. That's a clever bitch right there.
But that's the only thing, and maybe that's just like of course a minor nitpick because I hate when somebody gets a pin too close to the ropes and the person's leg is literally dangling outside the ring, but they still get the count.
Their hand is in the second row, high-fiving a fan, and the ref just ignores it. No rope break here. I think it was just a positioning issue.
Yeah. Yeah, but I dug because this did feel like and maybe you felt the same, like obviously a tribute to the Road Warriors.
Yeah, Road Warriors Demolition, definitely up there.
Yeah.
Which I dug, and D'Lo's 50, I think. So seeing him move as well as he was doing was nice. I was happy. I think all things considered, it worked as well as you could have hoped for.
Yeah, same, and it's definitely good for me to see D'Lo like this because I'm not used to his head not moving that much.
I'm surprised. Well, maybe he had to get his neck fused. Maybe he can't move his head like that anymore. Or flip side. What if you just tap the top of his head and he starts bounding about like a bobblehead?
Oh,
Questions, man. Questions.
That's the gimmick.
That's the gimmick. Post-match, Excessive Force beats up the good guys, the hard workers, and they destroy their top hats. It's a sad day in the IPWF. Then we get the debuting tag team next week, The New Wave, which is basically just a parody of Shane Douglas and John Laurinaitis' tag team from back in WCW. the dudes with attitude or the cool dudes, whatever it was called. So that was pretty cool, but we're not going to get to see them in action because there is no next week. Unless they do this again for next Thanksgiving, which I wouldn't mind. Because I like that they did like last month on this. Like they did a nice little like IPWF throwback classic, which I thought was pretty cool. What do you think of the Christs as the new wave?
I dig it. I dig it. I mean, this is something completely different from them. I mean, if these guys, it'll be funny to see these guys run into like their actual OVE alternatives when they first came to Impact, when they was wearing those creepy masks.
Those masks were cool.
Yeah.
I miss those masks. So we got a debuting youngster. He's considered a blue chip prospect. Hot newcomer Johnny Swinger took on a grizzled veteran in Buck Gunderson. I like that. The best part about this was Don Callis was saying, I've not been updating photos. There we go. Don Callis was saying on commentary that Johnny Swinger was this revolutionary, inventive individual who he goes to the middle rope. And he does moves like a swinging neck breaker that just would too dangerous for him to be doing. And I thought that was kind of a nice tongue-in-cheek kind of commentary on today's modern wrestling, which, let's be fair, the joke works, but today's modern wrestling really does have some things that it could change about itself to make it a little more wrestler-friendly, but that's neither here nor there. What did you think about this newcomer, this rookie, Johnny Swinger? Brand new. 20-something, I believe.
Yeah, man, he's definitely in tune with the oil. But this kid's got a lot of potential. A lot of potential with this kid.
I don't think his style will be good enough to keep him going until 2019, though. Not that, it's a specific year to worry about or anything, but I'm just saying. So then we get a promo from Frank the Butcher, a.k.a. Rhino. I thought this was adorable. Not nearly as adorable as what's coming next. The Rough Riders, Georgia Cobb, a.k.a. Jordan Grace, Ladybird Johnston, a.k.a. Havoc, Mildred Moore, a.k.a. Alexia Nicole, and Blanche Ardmore, a.k.a. Tessa Blanchard. So I thought that was kind of nice. They have the one line that, honest to God, like had me rolling, and it was Tessa. And she's like, we're the Rough Riders, and we're going to come on you like you haven't had anyone come on you before. And I'm just like, what?
It put me in such a state of shock. I was like, wait, she didn't. I turned into Booker T. Wait a minute. She didn't say that. Tell me she didn't just say that.
When you got super inflexive on that wait a minute, like you kind of sounded like him. Yeah, because he's got that gravelly back end, and you were able to really accentuate that pretty well. So I thought that was really well done. Congratulations. So they pass the mic around. Jordan Grace is all like, I'm pretty sure Jordan Grace wrote this, and she wrote it for her dad, Scott Steiner. That's my headcanon, and you can't change my mind otherwise. Havoc was okay on the mic. And as much as I love Alexia Nicole, and I do, and I think she's going to be super talented, she was clearly uncomfortable rocking this. And she's got such like kind of like a cutesy little like chipmunk face that like with these giant fucking aviator sunglasses and the way her ears kind of like protrude out, she looked a little goofy, like cute goofy, like not in to insult her. She looked a little like the sunglasses were not her friend.
Yeah, and credit to her. I think she was aware that this wasn't necessarily her thing, and she said what she had to say and got the mic to have it quick.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of got in, got out. Obviously that it's not that she can't sell sex or whatever, but this just wasn't her thing.
She can sell sex, just not whatever this was.
Exactly. But hopefully we get more mic time on her on the weekly stuff. But yeah, clearly Tessa and Jordan, who I think are also close in real life, clearly was just diving head first to the goofiness of this and committed. Whereas Alexa kind of just felt like the fourth person they kind of put in this, because. And I thought about this as we were coming on to the show. Like they kind of came off like the four whore women.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So we get a localized promo for a live event, which I thought was just peak. And I'm not gonna lie to anyone here. Apparently, the only thing holding back Madison Rayne from being someone that I would be completely into is being a 1980s workout fiend. Because I'm all about the jazzy fit body. So she comes out. She's rocking this pink mesh with the yellow and green, and she looks. Marcus, I don't know if I got a thing about Olivia Newton-John that I'm just now discovering about myself, but I am 100% all on board with this physical fitness Madison Rayne. Like, yowza. And she's taking on the Saturn of Suds Agnes Beerhart, which is Alicia Edwards. So that was. I like that Alicia had this.
That's.
Yeah, she had this giant fucking brunette hair wig on, and it was just It was great.
I was trying to figure out who the freak that was. The hair can change the entire face of somebody. Um, Obviously, but yeah, I mean, I didn't have the same instant connection to this version of Madison Rayne that you did. My favorite part about this whole thing was the shot that Callis got to get in on perhaps an affiliate of this workout lady on commentary, where he said something to the effect of maybe if I switch some things up, I could get a woman like Madison's character, and then what the caller said, not in a million years, and then Giles was like, you know what? I just keep my romantic entanglements to myself. And he was like, yeah, that's pretty much sums up your love life right there. Like what? Yourself.
That's a very Jerry Lawler-esque burn right there. I appreciate that. Post-match, we see Sebastian, the hitmaker, I think is what he was calling himself, played by Jimmy Jacobs, comes out and offers her a contract, and she's like, yeah, and she signs it, then she kicks him in the dick. Rude. That was just rude.
Why do potential clients keep kicking me in the dick? Oh.
Vegeta, all of them kicked you in the dick.
That was for my dick.
My dick. My baby boy. Don't worry, Vegeta. We'll get you. We'll wish back your baby boy. Fucking better.
Oh man, that was good. Shout out to Jimmy Jacobs, man. He really is like an all-purpose employee for this company.
He really is. So then we get a tag match. It's 4-on-4. So we have the Georgia Cobb, Jordan Grace. We have the Lady Bird Johnson, Havoc, Mildred Moore, Alexia Nicole, and Blanche Ardmore, Tessa Blanchard. And they're facing the four greatest names in wrestling history. The mighty Ontario Oak, Tim Burr. I love this team. Played by Josh Alexander. The man who puts the physical in physical education gymnasium. Played by Dez. The architect of pain, Bill Ding. Played by Trey. And race car superstar Ray Strack. Played by Wentz. I adored this. This was amazing.
I'm right there with you, but just to play on, because you know how we like,
we are
alliteration.
We are fan of puns. Fan of puns.
Fan of puns and alliteration, like just to play on words made this an A, and then obviously the exchanges within the ring, because obviously the opposite sex was the more intimately aggressive in this regard. So and it's really funny saying that, considering the fact we just got the introduction of one of those guys' mom on the show.
Yep.
Who could be like Impact's version of Stifler's mom. Hopefully they don't go that route.
There you go,
But yeah, this was fun.
So, the best part of this entire match was when Alexander went to the middle rope, and he was going for an axe handle, but then he stopped. And then he started to work the crowd up, and he started to bring his hands together, and Callis was like, no, not a double, not a double! And then he hits Jessica Havoc with a double axe handle, and everyone's like freaking the hell out, and I'm just like, the 80s. A simpler time. So I thought that was pretty slick. Tessa, though, hits him with the, whatever that Impaler DDT, that single arm wraparound DDT is called. She hits him with that, the Buzzsaw DDT, and gets the win. So that was pretty cool. I'm not a fan of intergender stuff, and I'm not going to all of a sudden change my stance because of this. But like this was done in a tongue-in-cheek way, so I'm not going to sit here and be, super aggro about it. Next up, though, Marcus, I think I think we go full Canada because we have Congo Kong. He's making his return to the promotion, and he's being backed by the $300,000 man. What was his name? Atlantis, I think. Golden Boy Atlantis. That man is played by. I know his name. Hang on, Archibald Peck, the guy who recently got fired from the WWE, and so yeah, that was cool to see. I love Archibald Peck. And the whole gimmick was like if anyone can slam Congo Kong, they would win $3,000. Because the week prior, for $2,000, no one could do it. And they bring out, I'm sorry, Mr. Atlantis was the guy they brought out. I have no idea what this other dude's. I don't remember what what Peck's ring name was. Do you remember who the $300,000 man was? Like the name
Of
the manager.
Callahan, right?
No. I'm talking about for Congo Kong.
Oh man, no. Damn it, who was his manager? Who was playing his manager?
Well, that was I just said it. Peck. Archibald Peck. Archibald Peck played the manager. I don't remember what the manager's name was though. I just remember he was the $300,000 man.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either. I was too busy trying to figure out if he was somebody on the roster I knew.
No. See, I can help. So he's he had this great line. $3,000 is nothing to the man who has $300,000, and I'm just sitting going, it's not a lot of money. It's really not. Couldn't even buy a house. So that was pretty cool. Brian Cage comes out as the as Maple Leaf Muscle, the Great White North Muscles McGee, and he body slams Congo Kong, and it was fantastic, and I loved every second of it. He came out wearing Scott D'Amore's old Team Canada jacket, and I thought that was ridiculous, and I loved every second of it. Marcus, Brian Cage as a Canadian bodybuilder, are you pro or anti?
I'm pro, and I'm even more pro for it because they could have easily picked another Canadian who is also looks to be a bodybuilder from Canada, but one that we're not exactly high on. But they instead went with Cage.
They made him a Russian. So we then go to a promo. The greatest IPWF champion, Tommy Dreamer, is coming back. Apparently, according to him, Jack Tunney suspended him. He's banned from the WWF after he broke Bruno's neck and slapped Vince's son, Vinny Jr. And he doesn't take care of Race, Rhodes, the Briscoes, Backlander, Funks, Bockwinkel, or anyone who will take his title back, you egg-sucking dogs. Again, the 80s were a simpler time. You egg-sucking dog. How does a dog suck an egg? Dogs can't suck.
I don't know, but like sayings like that and other stuff, like come off worse than curse words do.
Right?
Just because of the verbal imagery, like an egg-sucking dogs.
I just think of a dog that can't swallow an egg and just trying. It's hard-boiled. It's just like, I can't do it. Poor pups. Poor pups.
Like you said, like the greatest goodbye in the history of wrestling delivered by none other than Cornette. What it was like, F you goodbye or something.
Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Oh,
Thank you, fuck you,
oh,
bye.
oh man.
So then we go to the cockpit with Captain Joystick, played by Joey Ryan, and accompanied by Miss Mile High. I love the name, Kira Hogan. We then
Hey,
find out
Kira.
she was looking fit, man. I tell you what. We then get DJ Too Large, which Moose, change your gimmick. DJ Too Large is legitimately better than anything Moose could ever be. Plus, he's got the Run DMC hat, so like I'm down with that. Joystick messes with him. He refuses to allow him to talk, puts himself over. Too Large cuts him off. Blah, blah, blah. We go to the match. The Suplex Sultan the match actually wasn't a match. It was just... Or was there a match? There was a match, wasn't there? I remember there being a match. Oh, it was the last week stuff. Never mind. But anyway, last week they had a kerfuffle. And they did the old spot where Joey Ryan slaps the chair and drops, and then Moose grabs the chair, puts it around his neck, and drops. And Kid Ref is all like, "Hey, did you hit him with that chair?" And Joey Ryan's like, "No, I didn't hit him with the chair. I didn't hit him with the chair." And then Moose hits him with that fucking nasty ass clothesline. I was a fan. I was a big fan of that. What'd you think of that?
You'll never hear me complaining about seeing joystick
Joystick.
taking the beating. Pause. So yeah, big fan of DJ Too Large. Jesus.
Like, isn't that a
Um,
great name?
it is, and now I'm thinking about how he could have kept, like, even went further with it with his hand gesture that he usually does.
Mm-hmm. Could do like
Oh Lord, are you, Mr. DJ? Moose.
a turntable. Wicka 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 wicka. Could be his new hand slogan. I'd be down with that. I'm all for a DJ Too Large persona change. We then get a highlight from a month ago when I forget who it was. I think it was the Sings. They lit a fireball in Eddie's face. I'm sorry, not Eddie. Colt McCoy. When I grow up, I want to be just like Colt McCoy. So, not the Redskins quarterback, but in fact Eddie Edwards. And he's dealing with Gama Singh, played by Gama Singh Jr. So that was pretty cool. The Suplex Sultan Gama Singh versus the rough and tumble cowboy Colt McCoy. Marcus, does Colt McCoy, Eddie Edwards, does he make you think of a West Texas cowboy?
Yeah.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, Eddie Edwards is the least cowboy-esque dude I can think of.
Wait a minute, did I miss this segment? I think I might have missed this segment because I was thinking about something else. But yeah, was he? Everybody committed, but was he still kind of having some of that kind of twitchy Eddie that we used to see? Was this a little bit of Eddie of old before he picked up some weight and started hanging with kendo sticks?
This was a Stan Hansen ripoff. To be blunt, he came out.
Okay.
Yeah, he came out with throwing his arm up in the air. I think he was throwing the hook 'em horns. So he was really embracing the Texas idea. He was able to defeat Gama Singh, who is played by Gama Singh Jr., a.k.a. Raj Singh. Post-match, though, as he's being interviewed, a couple Russians come out. And, by the by, the match was a blindfold match, so it was even worse than you would think. And the Russians were Michael Elgin and Sawyer Fulton. I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. And Elgin hits Eddie with the iron claw, I think. Oh, no. He was choking him out with it with a chain. So they were really going old school into this 80s fucking throwback. And I loved it. Like, that was great. And the attire that these two cats were wearing is actually really good. And I hope they just borrowed it and they didn't have it made for the show, because most of these individuals are wearing jeans or, like, traditional trunks or, like, stuff that they found at Goodwill. Elgin and Fulton actually had full-on Soviet Union-era trunks made. At least I think they had them made.
Isn't that adorable?
Right? This is fantastic. So then we get Giuseppe talking about oh yeah. So as the Russians were attacking Colt McCoy, Scott D'Amore runs out and gets jumped by the Russians, and they drop Giuseppe, played by Scott D'Amore, and drop the Russian flag over him. And Giuseppe Jr.'s like, I guess I'm taking over the territory. So I thought that was pretty funny. They had a lot of fun on the show, and you could definitely tell. Then we had Giuseppe Jr. talking about the attack on his father. He vows revenge on the Soviets, and next week he'll lace up the boots one more time and team with Colt to beat the Soviets back to where they came from. Please go to the concession stand. Hot dogs and popcorn are now half off. Fantastic. Then in the main event, we had the television champion, Julian Cumberbund, Ethan Page, taking on Downtown Daddy Brown, Willie Mack. This was actually a really good match. Both guys worked it pretty well. Went about 10 minutes, and finish came when Cumberbund ran into a cradle from Downtown Daddy Brown to defeat Julian Cumberbund and get the title win. Marcus, this belt doesn't technically count, but it was cool to have a title change in the main event of this specialty show. Made even better by the fact that Willie Mack was the one who got to main event it. Overall, what did you feel about the main event?
Like you, I dug it, and it made the whole thing seem like it could be a legit thing because Mac won.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the crowd come out and celebrate and do all that good stuff. And like I said, I really could see these three guys doing this because, Callahan obviously played the perfect manager and all that because everybody did their roles well. And like I said, it was a good match. It was cool to see all ego in the main event. It was cool to see finally see Mac get some gold, although it's not legitimate gold, but still it was cool to see him win a title. No, this was a good way to build a show. I mean, it's not like it came out of nowhere. They built this with that, like I said, one of my favorite parts of the show, that segment that they had earlier. And I wouldn't mind, after watching this, I wouldn't mind seeing this thing come back a few times. I think they got something real good here, and hopefully the social reception and just the enjoyment by the wrestlers could convince them maybe to make this like a annual thing.
I wouldn't mind it being an annual thing. I wouldn't even mind it being a holiday thing. Like, if they decided to do another one for Christmas, that would be fine, because when's Christmas? This is the 25th. So, actually, the 25th lands on a Wednesday. So that means Christmas Eve is going to be a Tuesday. So it would make sense that if you don't want to be dinged in the ratings again, to do another IPWF for Christmas Eve. And if they do that, 2 episodes a year, I think that'd be a great idea. But I don't want to see it come back so often that people start talking about replacing the Impact canonical with this, because I think this is a nice treat. I don't want to watch it 52 weeks a year though.
No, I can't. No, it wouldn't be fair. Specifically, now with all the hard work they've had to put in to get their current product, not only consistent and good, but then did the fans back into it, So that's a lot of hard work that's been put in there. So like I said, I think like you said, it's a good treat, but not something that needs to be run into the ground, And I think with this material, it would be easy to get burnt out because obviously they were doing winks and nods to stuff, but if you're trying to do this 52 weeks a year, it's gonna come off as it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna be blatant, just ripping off stuff.
Mm-hmm.
and unnecessarily whipping off stuff and kind of killing the creativeness a lot of these guys have brought to this, just because this was a real cool creative outlet for these guys, but you don't want to, take that spark and then, like I said, burn it out. So yeah, I think they should do this as an annual thing. Um, but yeah, this was cool. I think this was a far better step up from their little stint with the racing stuff that we got. This was a good step up, and seeing them maybe integrate some more characters into another installment, I think would be really cool.
I wonder what Rob Van Dam would be. The Detroit
I don't even
Madman.
I don't even know if you would touch RVD, because I'm like, he's freaking in freaking like hot tubs with porn stars and what, IG models or whatever, cam models.
What you
And do you
do
even touch
is
him? He's already stoned. Yeah, he's already stoned out of his mind.
you give him an old gimmick that he had before. You take away the tie-dye outfit and you just give him like a regular singlet, and you call him like what was one of his names? He had a name in WCW I think would work. Let me just double check. Or you could have him be the Sheik, because he was trained by the original Sheik. You could call him Robbie V, because that was his name in WCW, was Robbie V. Just a thought. So, overall grade, what would you give IPWF, Marcus?
I give it a, let's see, B minus.
I think I'll give it a B. I'm not against wrestling on a show not being the greatest thing of all time, because the point of wrestling is to build to the big shows. And if you're giving away 25-minute matches every week, what's the point? Don't give away these epic encounters. That's the point of the pay-per-views or these Impact specials. So a show like last night was perfect because they were building to something that we'll probably never see, but it was solid booking, and they really showcased characters. And I think that's one of the things that made this work, was even though we were only getting some of these characters for at best 10 minutes a night or for the night, it really felt authentic, and you did feel a little bit invested, like with Willie Mack's character. And then he wins the title. Then all the faces come out and they lift him up. And I think Tommy Dreamer was wearing Zubaz and a Ribera jacket, so I thought that was pretty funny. But these characters kind of, even though they're done tongue in cheek and supposed to be funny, you did kind of connect with some of them. Not in a overly dramatic way, but it worked because they spent time, showing you who these people were. And I think that's what wrestling needs more, so that's just my thoughts. So, yeah, Marcus, anything else cross the wire tonight that you want to take mention and talk about real fast, or?
No, that's, I mean, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, it was refreshing to see those matches, because I had to, in preparation for the show, because I had to run an errand at Walmart. Came on like, you know what, I'm gonna see what's popping on AEW Dark this week, because freaking Sean Spears was on there, and he did pretty good. But they had this unnecessarily long match between Pentagon and Trent Beretta, and Trent Beretta beat him. And I'm just going, basically, I pulled a you. I went, the fuck? Like, what?
The fuck?
And this is after he did the arm thing, which would have put him off TV for months if this was Lucha Underground. So I'm like, okay, you know what? No, not doing it. Quickly exited out of that and went to Impact. And like you said, it was refreshing because you got invested in the characters. A lot of times, a lot of these federations just solely rely on these unnecessarily long matches, and they talk about a food chain, but the food chain doesn't matter when somebody who is clearly low on the pecking order has an any given Sunday victory that very much comes off like a straight up and down, I beat this fool, instead of I was lucky to get away with that roll up type of situation. So, yeah.
best part about this is Josh Alexander's on Twitter saying that he is 100% open to taking bookings as Bill Ding. Or Tim Burr. He was Tim Burr.
I'm just, I'm just, I'm just, I'm just laughing at that whole thing because obviously he did very much come off like the guy you see on the Bounty paper towels.
Yep.
Um,
The brawny
but
man.
when he came out with his axe, I'm like, that is the last thing Michael Myers would pick out of somebody's shed because it was a half-assed axe.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like somebody treated the axe like a toenail and shaved it down. So, like if you're killing somebody with this, they were either really frail or you swung it really, really hard. But that's hilarious. And All Eagle could take those things on the road.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. They'll do an entire tour with Julian Cumberbund versus Tim Burr. People will watch it. So tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We are off Thanksgiving. Well, I'm not, but everyone else will be. I'm gonna cook in the morning, eat in the afternoon, and then do work. Because
No days off, Porter.
No. I wish I had days off, but nope. All day, every day. So that's going to be a fun day for us tomorrow, or for you guys tomorrow. You know, enjoy your turkey, your ham, your stuffing, your potatoes, your football, if it's on. I don't know. It seems to always be on. Turkey for me, stuffing and mashed potatoes for sure. Oh, by the way, I made potato skins tonight. They're fucking delicious. And now I have a whole container of mashed potatoes that I made from tonight that I scooped out of the potatoes. So, like, you know, that excess potato meat will have something to do with it tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that. Leftovers, Marcus. Leftovers. So, yeah, enjoy your guys' Thanksgiving. You know, stay safe. If you go out for any reason tomorrow or on Black Friday, be careful. Because it will be a madhouse. Don't drink and drive. Don't be that guy or gal. Your fun is not more important than someone else's life.
Yeah. Order an item. I mean, look, man, if you can get it online, get it online. If you got to go out, stay alert, stay aware, be courteous. Be
Use your
humane.
manners. Use your manners, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Please get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Your Highness. See? See? Be polite. Thank you, fuck you, bye. Yeah, so just don't be a meatball. Just don't be squishy and cooked. By the by, if you're shopping, most places are already offering their specials right now. So go online. It's there. You don't necessarily always have to go online because I prefer shopping in person. But for Black Friday, I feel like shopping online is the way to go.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, we are done for the night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. We are available on Twitter at NerdCorp, NERDCORP, as well as on our Instagram. It's Real NerdCorp. We are on the website, realnerdcorp.com. All podcasts brought to you by realnerdcorp.com. We're also on the YouTubes with the links being down below. Twitch.tv/WrestlingUnderground and Twitch.tv/Comic and GameCorp. Podbean, realnerdcorp.podbean.com. And we're on the Podbean app. If you want to download it to your mobile device, you can do so. Search Real Nerdcorp on the Podbean app and download it to your phone today. All for free, by the way. iTunes, Nerdcorp, NERDCORP, under the podcast section of the iTunes store. I think I got everything. Was that everything? We have shirts.
Yep.
Teespring.com/stores/Nerdcorp. So if you wanna check that out, go ahead. Links to all the stuff are on the website as well. So just go to the website. It's easiest. RealNerdcorp.com. RealNerdcorp.com. Marcus, is there anything else you want to provide, add, or adjudicate?
Nope. Happy Thanksgiving, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the birds, and fuck you, Dallas. Down with the Cowboys. I don't even know who they're facing tomorrow. Baltimore, maybe? I don't know. Have a good one, folks. And remember, as always, to watch more wrestling. Marcus, take us home.
Good night, me.